Hello everyone, you're welcome to my live. My name is Joy Oluwajuwon, also known as Enjoy. If you're just joining me, you're here for a Q&A session and a live chat with me concerning my book titled Hate Reading, Let's Change That. Okay, so welcome. I see every one of you. Thank you so much for joining. I see you. Sister Jessica, Odega Lagos, Lilies, I see everyone. Thank you for joining. If you have any questions, please get ready to ask me. If you'd like to come up and join the live, please request so that we can talk and just have a chat concerning the book. So once again, you're welcome to my live chat and Q&A session of my book titled Hate Reading, Let's Change That. Okay, so basically we all know that it's not always easy to pick up a book and read. We all know that. It's not easy for everybody. There are some people that are actually avid readers. They read like they are drinking water, but it's not the same for everybody. Okay, at least for me, it wasn't like that. It still isn't like that 100% right now. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, but I'm actually better, far better than I used to be. So for me, I've always known that, okay, I'm actually a good writer, but I later found out that to be a better writer, I need to become a better reader. Okay, because I understood that reading helps you open up a world of new possibilities, things you never thought were possible. For instance, some of the importance of reading is that reading exercises the brain. Okay, it keeps your brain active. So times where instead of allowing yourself to just be idle or doing something that will not benefit you, of course you can pick up a book and read, and that will help to exercise the brain. Reading also is a form of entertainment. Okay, if you see it that way, if you choose to see it that way, reading can be a form of entertainment. Reading improves concentration and the ability to focus. So reading improves literacy. Definitely, because the more you read, the more you find some words and sentences that would improve your vocabularies. Okay, sometimes it's easy to feel like you already know so much, and but by the time you come across certain words, I'm sure there are people here, you've come across some words before and you're like, so this kind of word exists, and you want to probably quickly check the dictionary for the meaning, and then when you're also in a social gathering, okay, you'd be able to speak confidently, okay, because your passion for reading has also helped, or it helps, to improve your literacy. Reading improves sleep. This is very funny because it is actually true for a lot of people. There are people who actually read in order to sleep. Yes, it's true. In fact, I've heard of people that whenever they pick up a book, this is not a good example. I've heard of people who pick up a book to read, and that's when they fall asleep. That's not the example I'm trying to give, but I'm just saying that I'm going to address that also later. Reading actually improves sleep in a way that by the time your mind is being exercised, is active, okay, you get to know how to prioritize your sleep and other things you need to do, because if you keep your brain busy, if you keep your mind busy, it will help you know when to or how to prioritize everything else. So reading improves literacy, definitely, because the more you read, the more you find some words and sentences that would improve your vocabularies. Okay, sometimes it's easy to feel like you already know so much, and but by the time you come across certain words, I'm sure there are people here, you've come across some words before and you're like, so this kind of word exists, and you want to probably quickly check the dictionary for the meaning, and then when you're also in a social gathering, okay, you'd be able to speak confidently, okay, because your passion for reading has also helped, or it helps, to improve your literacy. Reading improves sleep. This is very funny because it is actually true for a lot of people. There are people who actually read in order to sleep. Yes, it's true. In fact, I've heard of people that whenever they pick up a book, that one, this is not a good example. I've heard of people who pick up a book to read, and that's when they fall asleep. That's not the example I'm trying to give, but I'm just saying that I'm going to address that also later. Reading actually improves sleep in a way that by the time your mind is being exercised, is active, okay, you get to know how to prioritize, your sleep and other things you need to do. The first chapter is growing through reading. We have growing through reading, identifying reading triggers and barriers, addressing emotional blocks to reading, developing positive reading habits, experimenting different genres, okay, exploring your interests through reading, creating a reading environment that works for you, incorporating technology into reading, improving your mental health through reading, and tracking your reading progress. So a lot of these topics would help you find your passion for reading, help you redefine your passion for reading. This book, titled Hate Reading, Let's Change That, is suitable for everyone who can read. Okay, so if you can read, but you probably don't read because you find reading to be a chore, you find it boring, you find it uninteresting, it's not your fault. So that's why I'm here, and that's why this book is here for you. Okay, so in this book you're going to find, like I said earlier, simple tips and tricks, fun tips and tricks that will help you, find your reading passion, help you enjoy reading, and help you find it rewarding. So like I was sharing my story earlier before a few of you joined, I never used to like reading that much before. I always knew that I was a good writer, but I found out that I could be a better writer when I'm a better reader, because I knew reading would, I found out that reading would improve my vocabulary, it would improve my writing skills, my everything concerning writing, So I had to start working on it. I started with what worked for me first. So I started with audiobook, first, and then I started progressing, gradually to hardcover books. I didn't pick up books that that look cumbersome, So one of the tips and tricks that you're going to find in this book is that you will need to pick up books that interest you. Okay, so if you have interest in medicine, if you have interest in art, entertainment, or as a whole, or maybe music, finance, technology, politics, whatever your interest is, I would advise strongly that you pick up a book that interests you, so that way you'll be able to read it. Okay, and then when you want to read, because you're trying to improve your reading skills, I would advise that you start small, at your pace, at your own level. So if you're able to read a few pages for a start, please, by all means, don't feel compelled. Okay, do not feel compelled to want to read the whole book. Okay, if you know that what works for you is to start with a page or 5 pages, you can do that. If what works for you is to time yourself, maybe 5 minutes every day, why not? Okay, so just start at your own pace, and before you know it, gradually you're going to increase, the time at which you read per day. All right, so I can see a few people joining. Thank you so much. Official Top Heels Empire, thank you. Shegun, thank you. Juwon Okonobi, I see you. DJ Smart, I see you. Thank you so much. I understand. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment section, or you can just request to join the live and I will answer your questions. So like I was saying, so for the topics that we have, This is a very tiny book. Okay, it's on. I make sure that it's very small so that it will be an easy read for everyone who would, like to take their reading passion to the next level. So once again, the book is titled Hate Reading, Let's Change That. If you would like to grab a copy, please message me and we'll talk about how the book can get across to you. Or if you would like to read it online, it's available on Amazon Kindle. It's available on Okada Books and Seller. Seller is spelled Selar. That's Seller. Okay, so yes, you can read it online or you can grab a copy from me. Just simply send me a message or put a call through and we can talk about it. All right, so back to the chapters in the book. So one of the chapters here says exploring your interest through reading, just like I mentioned earlier. Just make sure you pick up a book that interests you and you will find. Another chapter says incorporating technology. So with this, I need to turn off this TV, okay, so that we are not distracted. All right, so thank you so much for still being here with me. So incorporating technology into reading means that you may need to read online, or you may need to imbibe the culture of audiobook, listening to a book, so that on the go you can read while on a journey or on the go generally. Okay, so identifying reading triggers and barriers. This will help you know the things that will trigger you to read, or the things that are the barriers to reading for you. So hate reading, let's change that. I know of a few people who read books, and it has changed their lives forever. So even in this book, you're going to find stories of people who came across, certain books and that changed their lives forever. I know of a popular and big dog, in accountancy, right now. He actually came across a book by M.K.O. Abiola many years ago, and he read the book, and that inspired him to become an accountant. And today, he's actually a great accountant in West Africa as a whole. I also know of a young lady. Her story is also here when you read the book. She came across a book by a popular surgeon, and today, trust me, she's actually on that line, on that journey to becoming a surgeon as well. So yes, those are part of the things that reading can do for you. So please, I want us to change this narrative of people saying that if you want to hide anything from a black man, you should put it in a book, because they believe that we don't read. Okay, a dear mama, of mine, she mentioned how somebody was talking about how you enter a plane, an aircraft, and then you find white people, a lot of white people on reading a book, on the aircraft. But when you see blacks, they are chitty-chatty, they are chatting away, So it's something that we need to change. It's a deliberate act. It has to be a deliberate act. So if you would like to, improve your passion for reading or redefine your passion for reading, please grab a copy of this book titled Hate Reading, Let's Change That. Send me a message, call me, or check online on Amazon Kindle, Okada Books, or Seller, and you will be on your way to becoming a better reader. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. God bless you. Bye.